well this sucks because I was in the middle of a recording and then I got a call. So it's my mother. So I had to stop the recording because I didn't want to be on the phone and do it at the same time, and I don't like editing out stuff that I don't need to edit out. So I'm just going to redo this video. What was I talking about? I was talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole. First of all, we're going to talk about this new archetype support. It may be a whole new archetype by itself, but it carries the same name as a previous archetype. We're talking about DARKLORDs, of course. So, everyone knows that we're getting new DARKLORD support. The previous DARKLORD support was colorful, and I mean, like, you could tell that they were evil and whatnot, but this one, this isn't colorful. This is straight up demonic. So, I mean, for real, we have Satan as a Yu-Gi-Oh card, DARKLORD Lucifer, and it can't be special summoned because it's from the pits of hell, the graveyard. So, we're going to take a look at this new archetype. Of course, that there are going to be new cards after I upload this video, but we're just going to mainly talk about the previous cards that are out, which is the 1 spell, the 1 trap, and the 3 monsters, hold on, and the 3 monsters. So, it's a 5-card archetype, and we're reviewing it. So, hey, you know what? That may be a good idea, reviewing archetypes, reviewing new archetypes. I would like that. That may be cool. Although, I don't review stuff that's a bit old, or not old, but things that have already been covered, like A, B, C, and whatnot. So, we're just going to talk about DARKLORDs. DARKLORD Lucifer. 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense, a level 11 fairy dark type. Cannot be special summoned if this card attributes summoned, which is, that's pretty much the only way it can be summoned. You can special summon DARKLORD or Fallen One monsters from your hand and or deck. Up to the number of effect monsters your opponent controls. That's not bad, because Lucifer, I'm pretty sure, is the only one that can't be special summoned. Okay, yeah, so Tez, Cat, I'm calling it Poka. Poka and Ixtab are the only 2 that can be special summoned as of this point. So Lucifer can summon as many as those out to the field as up to the number of effect monsters your opponent controls. And unless your opponent's running vanilla, which they probably won't be, I mean, I guess they could be playing Blue Eyes, because Blue Eyes has the 3 Blue Eyes cards, of course, and then Spirit of Dragon of White. I only run 1 of those. Yeah, I got the OCG entire list here. It's always treated as a normal monster while in the hand or graveyard, so on the field it's not a it's not a normal monster. But against Blue Eyes, the only thing you'll have trouble with is these. But mainly, I mean, like, people keep these in the graveyard, or they use them to banish with for Dragon's Mirror, which this deck actually doesn't have. That surprises me. But they just mainly use alternative White Dragon for the field, and they use this to banish and Xyz with this one. So this regular Blue Eyes isn't as powerful as a whole lot of people think it is. It's mainly just alternative Spirit of White, which Xyz into whatnot. So actually, I wonder what would be better, Dark Matter or Cipher Blade Dragon. I know Dark Matter has 800 more attack points and possibly a better effect, as you can detach to attack multiple times. But Cipher Blade has a detach to pop a card, and when it's destroyed, you can special summon a galaxy from graveyard. So it's not too bad. But that's completely off the topic. I'm sorry. So DARKLORDs, if it's tribute summoned, then you can special summon DARKLORD and or Falling Angels from your hand and or deck, up to the number of effect monsters your opponent controls, which is pretty good. Because, I mean, like, if you're going up against Infinity, if you get this thing out, you don't even have to play its effect. Most likely, Infinity will only have up to 2,700 attack points, so you could just run over Infinity. Sure, you don't get the special summon monsters, but at least you have a 3,000 beater on the field that can run over Infinity. And if anything can run over Infinity, then it's pretty much, it's good. Because if your opponent has Infinity out, then that's pretty much their trump card, and if you can run over that, then you're pretty much good. So, what else does it say? It's got a blanket effect. While you control another DARKLORD or Fallen Angel monster, your opponent cannot target this card for card effects. So it hides behind Ixtab and Poka, which is pretty good because you can special summon them out. And hold on, it cannot be targeted. Okay, so stuff like Mirror Force will still pop it. Unfortunately, stuff like Mirror Force will still pop it. And then once per turn, you can send cards from the top of your deck, so you mill. Top of deck to graveyard equal to the number of DARKLORD or Falling monsters you control. Alright, well, if you have DARKLORD, Lucifer, and you summon Ixtab and Poka, then that's 3. So you're going to send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, play a card trooper, and gain 500 each for every DARKLORD and Fallen Angel card sent to the graveyard by this effect. Okay, well, at this point, it's a 5-card archetype with 1 spell, 1 trap, and 3 monsters. So yeah, there are more Dark Lord cards like Desire, Zerato, Superbia, and whatnot, but they're not good. The only good ones are Zerato and Desire, in my opinion. Sure, this one may be good, although it can't be special summoned from the deck or graveyard. So pretty much only your hand with Valhalla. But I mean, it's a 3,000 beater too, and it has a token effect for something. I'm not gonna read it, but this thing. Oh wait, no, this thing and Edda Arai both have effects that are special summoned from the graveyard. I'm going to classify them as Felgrant effects. They're only good if they're summoned from the graveyard. So, with that being said, we only have to look at the Fallen One cards, which Fallen One, which is Mary the Fallen One, Nurse Reficule the Fallen One. Which of these would be best to send to the graveyard? Marry the Fallen One. You want to send as many of these to the graveyard because during each of your standby phases, while it's in the graveyard, you gain 200 life points. So a Foolish Burial would be great for this actually, because you can Foolish this into the graveyard and then you can mill it with Lucifer. So that's really cool. And if you have 3, then that means you gain 600 life points during each of your standby phases, which is pretty useful because after so long, even if you're getting hit turn by turn, you still get that 600 life points, and that may matter for you to draw a decent card that can actually help you, such as Lucifer, Ixtab, Polka, but they need support to help them get on the field more. Lucifer needs to be tribute summoned, the other two can be special summoned, but, I mean, like, in all honesty, people do not want these things on the field. They will Solemn Warning whatever you need, or they will Solemn Warning everything you have, just to keep these monsters off the field. Because if you don't have Ixtab and Polka on the field, then it's going to be pretty hard to get out Lucifer. Sure, you can tribute other monsters that can stay on the field, such as Marshmallow and Aroma Pot. Marshmallow would be better because it's a fairy type, and I guess you could go back to Darklords, and you could tribute Marshmallow for Darklord Desire, because if you tribute one fairy monster, you can tribute it with only that one tribute rather than using 2. Like I said, some of the Dark Lords are pretty good. Some of them just confuse me. Now let's look at the other card, Ixtab. You can discard this card, so it's a trigger support card basically, and one Dark Lord or Falling One. So you can send this card and Mary the Fallen One to your graveyard. So that's good. That way you get Mary in the graveyard without Foolish. Then you can draw 2 cards. During either player's turn, you can pay 1,000 life points. Target one Dark Lord spell or trap card in your graveyard. This effect becomes that target's effect when that card is activated. Question: it's already in the graveyard. How can it be activated? I'm a bit confused. Maybe it just copies the effect and activates it for itself. But anyway, then shuffle that target into the deck. So that's pretty good, because you can basically activate the effect of a spell or trap card in your graveyard, and then you can shuffle it back into the deck. And my friend's texting me to Skype, but I'm making this video. So you can only use the effect. You can only use each effect of Dark Lord Ixtab once per turn. You can only special summon Dark Lord Ixtab once per turn, which means, hold on, it says Dark Lord Ixtab or Babs. Tab or Tabs, which means with Lucifer you can summon up to multiple Ixtabs, but then that's the only time you can special summon Ixtab for the turn. Meaning you can't call Valhalla in this thing if you attack and your opponent plays a Mirror Force. Now we got Polka. Tez Cat La Polka. 2800, it's a level 9, so it's lower level than Ixtab? Okay, whatever. If a Dark Lord or Fallen One monster you control would be destroyed by battle or a card effect while this card is in your hand, you can discard this card instead. So this card is the barrier card. It will protect your Lucifer, it will protect your Ixtab from cards like Mirror Force. Okay, because we needed that. We really did. During another player's turn, you can pay 1,000 life points. So this card is a lot of paying life points. And I want to say it's a reference to the devil himself, Lucifer, because he drains out your soul, and this is with life points. However, where Ixtab and Polka both have effects that will kill your life points, Lucifer and Mary the Fallen One have life points that will increase your life points. So they make up for the life point loss. They restore your soul a little bit, but I mean, it's Lucifer. Why does he want to restore your soul? Maybe it's the guy from that one anime. The devil is a part-timer. But anyway. You can pay 1,000 life points, target one Dark Lord spell or trap card. This effect becomes that. Okay, so it has the same effect as Ixtab. You can activate and copy the effect of a Dark Lord spell or trap card in your graveyard, and then shuffle it into the deck. You can only use that effect of it once per turn, which means that you can use the blanket effect as many times as you want, which is really good in my opinion. Run 3 of these, and then you can only summon Dark Lord Polka once per turn. I mean, like, you could summon 3 of them with Lucifer's effect, although this is a card that you want in your hand, because then you could, you want this in your hand so then you can discard it for Blanket, and same with Ixtab. You don't really want them on the field and or graveyard as much as you do in the hand. So maybe, you know, as we can see, we're going down the line here. We got a level 11, a level 10, and a level 9. So maybe we're going to get a level 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and possibly 1. However, but as this is, are they worth getting out on the field? Lucifer is the card that you need on the field, whereas Ixtab and Polka are the 2 cards that you would like in your hand more than anything. You want Mary in the graveyard by a Foolish or Lucifer's effect, and needless to say, if you actually can card Trooper 1, if you run Triple Mary, that's good and everything. You get a life point gain, but that's all it does for you. Sure, I mean, like, sure, Mary works with Ixtab and Polka too. You know, I mean, like, Ixtab and Polka, they protect Mary if Mary's on the field. You don't want it on the field, though. So, this archetype, it looks good. We just need monsters that are easier to get out. I don't want to keep tribute summoning these. I mean, like, I guess you could just tribute summon Lucifer and then get out the other 2 monsters. And then, you know, keep a Polka in hand. That way, I mean, like, if you play a Mirror Force, that destroys more than 1 monster. So you could discard Polka and save all your attack position monsters. However, people just play Storming Mirror Force nowadays. I mean, that's the issue. Like, don't make cards that are immune to destruction. Make cards that are immune to being returned to the hand. I know that's specific, but let's take a look at the last 2 cards for this archetype. Casting out of the Dark Lords, like casting out the devil himself from heaven. Add 1 Dark Lord or falling 1 card from your deck to your hand. So then, there we go. There's our support. We can get, okay, so we can add Poco, we can add Ixtab to our hand, and if we have the tributes necessary, we can add Lucifer. That's good. That's a good effect. You can only activate this effect once per turn, and you can't add casting out the Dark Lords itself. So you can't play this card. Maybe you can add, okay, you can add the trap card with this effect too, which is really good. So this card is a stable card. I like that. Dark Lord's Falling from Grace. Send 1 Dark Lord or fallen 1 monster from your hand or face up on your field to the graveyard. Destroy 1 card on the field. Okay, this is a discarding card. This is what Mary, this is how Mary plays. You don't need Foolish, you need this card. Because if Mary's in your hand, you can't really Foolish Burial that. I mean, sure, you could use Ixtab's effect to discard it to draw, but, I mean, like, that's saying that that's if you have Ixtab and Mary in your hand. So this card will let you discard Mary. Falling from Grace is also a reference to Lucifer himself. That's a picture of Lucifer, and then I guess in the background that's a picture of God himself, but maybe Odin if they're mixing up their mythology. But so this is cool in my opinion. This is not a bad archetype. I'm okay with it. I like the archetype. I like the idea. We need an easier way to get out monsters. I guess Desire looks to be the easiest Dark Lord to get out by tributing 1 fairy monster, such as Marshmallow. I mean, plus you could always Oasis of Dragon Marshmallow back on the field to where it's perfectly fine. Sure, you don't get the burn effect, but it can't be destroyed by battle, which means that you can get out more Dark Lords. You can use Marshmallow for Lucifer, Ixtab, and Polka, which is really good. So, especially with, I mean, like, if these new Dark Lords would support fairy-type monsters as much as the old Dark Lords did, then we would have more stuff. Especially with this, if you're going to play light fairies with dark fairies, like Zorato and Marshmallow, then you could play BLS too. So you got good stability. This is growing to be a good deck. We just need an easier way to get out monsters. Maybe Mausoleum of the Empire. If you guys don't know what that is, oh, maybe it's Emperor. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, Mausoleum of the Emperor. Maybe I butchered Mausoleum. Both players can normal summon or set monsters without tributing by paying 1,000 life points times the number of monsters needed for the tribute summon. A lot of people think that this means you can normal summon level 4 lower monsters as many times as you want per turn because they don't need tributes. No, that's not what this means. Basically, if you need 2 tributes, you don't have to tribute 2 monsters. You can pay 1,000 life points per tribute. So if you're trying to normal summon your Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, and you have Mausoleum on the Emperor on the field, you can pay 2,000 life points to get Mausoleum on the field. If you have Slifer in your hand, who needs 3 tributes, you can pay 3,000 life points to get out to get out Slifer. So that's pretty much what it means. With this card, I guess this card could help out Dark Lords, although that again is ruining your life points. That's where Mary and Lucifer are needed in this deck. And I mean, like, this card is a life point draining deck, which is okay. I guess you can mix it with DDDs, so then you could get you could get Dark. Hold on. Yeah, you could get Oracle King Dark, or D-Arc, whatever. It needs 2 DDD monsters, so, I mean, you don't necessarily need to run as much DD as you want to, but you want to get, I mean, because what this does, oh, never mind, it's any effect damage. That's, okay. Here's the thing. A lot of people think effect damage is the same as cost. See, Lucifer here, or not Lucifer, X-Tab, where it says pay 1,000 life points, that's not effect damage, that's cost. So DDD Oracle King will not help, because there's a difference between cost and effect damage. Effect damage is by a card effect that just deals effect damage to you, whereas X-Tab, cost is a trigger. Like, you need to pay cost in order to actually activate the effect. Forget what I said about Oracle King Dark, it won't work. So you just need cards to restore your life points, and an easier way to summon out your monsters. That is what will make this archetype good. You need cards that will restore your life points, which, I mean, I guess you have. You have Lucifer and Mary the Fallen One, which you can easily send to the graveyard with X-Tab or Foolish Burial. So, I mean, like, and you can also add cards to your hand with Casting Out of Darklords, and you can also discard cards with Falling from Grace. So that puts the cards in the graveyard. I just spit. That puts the cards in the graveyard that need to be in the graveyard, whereas Polka and X-Tab need to be in the hand the majority of the time. So you need cards to return from grave to hand. Maybe Pot of Avarice or Jar of Avarice. What that card does is it shuffles 5 cards from your graveyard to your deck, then you +1. So this could be a really good archetype if we just get easier monsters to summon and ways to keep your life points. I mean, once you get out Lucifer, it's not like your opponent's really going to do anything, because they can't really cut out your life points when you got a 3,000 beater who also has a blanket effect when he can easily summon Polka and X-Tab. So they're not bad. They're not bad, especially with Marshmallow. You can easily get out tributes, especially with Desire if you want to run the old Darklords. But you know, that's just what I'm thinking. So I know that I said that this was going to be like a big Yu-Gi-Oh video where I just talked about what's been happening in the week and a half. However, I'm going to cut this video at this with just a Darklord sort of review. The archetype looks good, like I said multiple times. It needs easier monsters to summon and ways to regain your life points. Obviously, Oracle King Dark won't do that. Maybe if you have some of the DD support that inflict damage to your life points, such as Contract, like this, Forbidden Contract, Dark Contract. Okay, Dark Contracts, and I guess why is it Forbidden Dark Contract? Technically, they're all forbidden. I mean, Covenant means a contract, a bad contract. But anyway, I mean, like, both of these cards, they deal damage to you. So, and it's not cost. It's straight up effect damage that will kill you. So, I mean, like, I guess you could play this. I mean, you could play Dark Contract with the Gate in order to add cards, in order to add the DD cards necessary to your hand. And then you play Dark Contract with the Swamp King to fusion summon. And then you can get out Oracle King Dark. But if you do that, then you have these 2 cards on the field with Oracle King. If King leaves the field for tribute or anything, then you're still going to be taking effect damage. Sure, Oracle King will rack up your life points, but your opponent wants to get rid of that because they don't want you to go over your opponent does not want your life points to go over the amount of what you started with. So if you start with 8,000, they don't want you to go any higher. So, I mean, because the point of the game is to reduce your opponent's life points, that or deck them out, and you know, deck them out is, I mean, like, that's not what people are doing these days. But unless there's just like a long game and you realize, hey, my opponent's running out of cards, I'm just gonna stall. So do what you guys want with Darklords. I want to see a good build of this. I know it can be good if it's used right. I know Valhalla may work. Marshmallow definitely will work. Foolish Burial on Mary is necessary unless you actually, I mean, like, I guess you could do the combo with this. You play Casting Out Darklords to add Mary from deck to hand. Then you play Darklords Falling from Grace to discard it. I guess you could do that, but that's a waste of 2 cards just to get Mary in the graveyard. I mean, sure, this card will let you search any Darklord card except for itself, which is good. You can search out any of the previous Darklord or Fallen One cards, which is just Mary and Nurse. And then this card, it lets you discard so you can pop a card, which is good. I mean, like, you could pop. It doesn't even say face up. You can just destroy any card on the field. You can destroy a trap card. You can destroy, whatever the crap you want. So, what do we do with this archetype? What do we do with the God? or no, technically he's not a god, but what do we do with with the falling one himself? So let me know what you guys think in the comments about how to make this deck good. I want to know and I want to do it. I probably will do a deck profile on this once I figure out a good build. I did have a build last week with no extra deck. So now thinking about that, it may run with Monarchs, but then after reviewing this deck as I have right now, it's not worth it. Doing this with Monarch is not worth it because Monarchs just care about tribute summon. And while Lucifer needs tribute summons, Lucifer will not support Dark Monarchs in any way whatsoever. Monarchs may support them, maybe with like Monarch spell and trap cards. For instance, let me show you this here. Monarch, and we're going to spells. Okay, no, that won't help. This. Monarch Stormforth will help. March of the Monarchs will help. Return of the Monarchs will help. And then I know that there's 1 or 2 trap cards for them. This will help because it will let you do it during your opponent's battle or main phase. And, I mean, like, if you can normal summon during your opponent's battle phase, then you can get out Lucifer right then and there. Although, I mean, if you're running 2 Marshmallow on the field and your opponent's attacking while your Marshmallow are face up, then there's really no need to tribute summon because, you know, they can't run over Marshmallow. So, yeah. Wow. Oh, man. What I was going to talk about, the rest of it, was the whole Dueling Network and YGO Pro fiasco. There is news on Dueling Network, though. It's like Dueling Network 2.0, which I will talk about in another video. But, yeah, so Darklords. Deck review Darklords. This is interesting. I like doing this. This isn't at all what I thought I would be doing with Darklords, or just with this video in general. But, yeah, so maybe I'll do this more. Maybe I'll do deck reviews with new cards more. That sounds good to me. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. This is Gaming Jake logging out, and peace.